Welcome back to your one-stop destination for captivating recaps. If you're new to the channel, congratulations, you are in for a treat. Today, we're diving into another thrilling recap. So grab your popcorn, sit back, and get ready to be mesmerized. The film commences with the main character, James, rushing to class after oversleeping, narrowly making it in time. Mr. Zimmett, a philosophy teacher, reluctantly allows him to enter. James receives a disapproving look from his girlfriend, Petra, who happens to be the top student in her class. The setting is an international school in Jakarta, and it's the students' final day. Mr. Zimmett sets the stage by presenting a challenge to his class of 23 thought experiments aimed at preparing them for the future. The students share their examples of these thought experiments, such as the scenario where a monkey, given a typewriter and infinite time, would eventually type out the entire Hamlet. Other examples include the trolley problem, where one must choose between one person and 4 people, and the dilemma involving an obese man requiring one to push him onto the tracks to stop the trolley, forcing individuals to contemplate difficult ethical choices. Mr. Zimmett then introduces an exercise assuming an imminent atomic apocalypse. He reveals the existence of a bunker capable of providing shelter for a year. As the students explore the bunker, they discover various leisure amenities. The challenge intensifies as the revelation unfolds that the bunker contains supplies sufficient for only 10 people. A sense of urgency prevails as the students must swiftly determine who among them will be granted entry, with the looming threat of atomic radiation approaching rapidly. The top-performing student, Petra, initially refuses to partake in this moral quandary. However, Mr. Zimmett coerces her into participating by threatening to lower her boyfriend, James' academic grade, if she refuses. Faced with this ultimatum, Petra reluctantly agrees to take part. Mr. Zimmett distributes cards containing information about the characters each student is assigned in the exercise. An unusual occurrence captures everyone's attention when, after handing Petra and James their cards, Mr. Zimmett begins coughing. Despite this, the students proceed to introduce their assigned characters in the thought exercise. James, an organic farmer, and Petra, an engineer, find themselves among a diverse group of individuals with varied professions in this thought exercise. The roles include a real estate agent, carpenter, opera singer, hedge fund manager, harpist, astronaut, PhD in chemistry, electrician, wine auctioneer, surgeon, housekeeper, fashion designer, pastry chef, zoologist, psychotherapist, soldier, senator, and a published poet. As the scenario unfolds, Zimmett, being a part of the exercise, takes immediate action by shooting the published poet on the premise that it's a more humane act than leaving them to perish from radiation, especially considering the poet wouldn't have secured a spot in the bunker anyway. Although Zimmett's abilities are concealed, the students staunchly defend their right to enter the bunker. A group vote ensues after a heated discussion, and the final contenders for the last spot in the bunker are Zimmett and the opera singer. Zimmett secures the spot, and in their hypothetical scenario, the students allocate 5 minutes to bid farewell. Back in the classroom, desks are rearranged to distinguish between the survivors and those left behind. The shock reverberates as gunshots echo. Zimmett has ruthlessly eliminated everyone who failed to secure a place in the bunker. Amidst the aftermath, Petra privately expresses to James that she doesn't want him in the bunker. In response, James devises a plan during the chaos. He discreetly approaches each person, suggesting they gather some plants before entering the bunker. While the group is momentarily separated, James assures each individual that they will meet inside the safety of the bunker. After a while, Zimmett becomes aware of James' plan to gather plants, prompting him to disable the external keypad and seal the bunker, leaving Zimmett outside. Inside the confined space, the survivors assess their surroundings for the upcoming year, discovering amenities like an artificial garden and a daybed designed to alleviate depression. Later on, James and Petra share a moment on the bed, expressing mutual support. As James drifts off to sleep, Petra decides to check on Zimmett. Outside, Zimmett holds up a paper claiming to be the sole possessor of the exit code. The group remains uncertain about the authenticity of Zimmett's message, realizing they will have to endure a year to find out. Life inside the bunker becomes mundane and agonizing, marked by unsatisfying routines. Petra continues to monitor Zimmett's lifeless body, wearing a dejected expression. The year proves far from heavenly, and the survivors contemplate whether the end of their first ordeal will lead to the beginning of another. Upon surviving the year, the survivors discover the necessity of the exit code. Attempts to break out fail, supplies deplete, and faced with despair, they all choose to end their lives. The thought exercise seemingly fails, and it's revealed that Zimmett, a bunker builder, holds the exclusive exit code. The group decides to repeat the exercise, maintaining the bunker and the apocalyptic scenario. During a moment of distraction, Zimmett seizes a gun and makes a surprising revelation. The cards distributed earlier contain a second detail, altering the vote. James, an organic farmer who is homosexual, is accepted, while the surgeon initially approved is now rejected due to a potential Ebola virus contraction. Petra confronts Zimet, criticizing his logic. The hedge fund manager traveling with a bag of gold is accepted, with the added benefit of being a woman capable of bearing a child. The carpenter, though infertile, secures a spot. Petra, an electrical engineer, accepts the rejection of the electrician who has a rare disease. The psychotherapist is denied entry due to the inability to have children. The zoologist, a PTA blogger, and the chemist with a PhD make the cut, as does the real estate agent, who is also a midwife. The pastry chef, having nothing extraordinary on his menu, is a bit confused, and the opera singer, despite her linguistic prowess, faces reluctance due to a less welcome second edition. In 3 years, the wine auctioneer is predicted to develop a throat tumor, while the fashion designer remains without any notable contributions. The harpist, diagnosed with autism spectrum disorder, still plays a significant role. The senator becomes the first female Supreme Court justice, the soldier possesses a perfect memory, and the housekeeper proves to be a genuinely kind individual. The published poet's story is left unexplored, perhaps intentionally withheld this time. Why be every time man? Zimet reiterates that his spot is reserved for him, and the group remains in the dark about the exit code. Those who failed to secure a place in the bunker attempt to escape the explosions but are unsuccessful. Meanwhile, those chosen to live in the bunker rush to safety. Petra, waking up, discovers James with the chemist, revealing that he, too, is homosexual. Outside the exercise, the participants maintain their personalities from within the thought experiment, leaving Petra mildly disappointed. The group deliberates on plans for procreation, ultimately eliminating the carpenter, who is infertile, as well as the chemist and James. Petra is paired with Zimet, the midwife with the soldier, and the senator with the housekeeper. However, explosions persist even after 10 weeks without pregnancies. Zimet suggests changing couples to enhance the chances of success. The soldier, with a perfect memory, objects arguing that they are taking logic too far. In response, Zimet retrieves a gun, threatening everyone except the soldier to leave the room. The chemist, hiding behind a corner, lunges at Zimet as the others exit, causing him to drop the gun. The soldier seizes the opportunity but finds himself held at gunpoint by Zimet. No! Another failed attempt leaves James questioning Zimet's motives for the exercise, particularly his apparent determination to punish them. James brings up the peculiar coughs Zimet had when assigning roles to him and Petra, noting that the cough hasn't recurred since. Pretending to leave, James seizes the opportunity to snatch the box containing the cards. To his surprise, he discovers hidden compartments, and both his and Petra's cards have been tampered with. Suspicious, James confronts Zimet about his apparent vendetta. In response, Zimet refers to Plato's allegory of the cave. The allegory illustrates a man who, chained since childhood, perceives shadows and echoes as reality until he is unchained and discovers the truth. Zimet suggests that this allegory reflects James's situation, claiming the exercise aims to confront him about his privileged upbringing. However, James remains skeptical, questioning why Zimet made him a farmer rather than assigning a seemingly useless role like a florist. Petra insists on repeating the exercise for the third time, with James being assigned the role of a florist. In the third iteration, the setting is an island and Zimet goes for a supposed quick check. However, it becomes evident that his actions are more than a routine inspection as he discreetly grabs a gun and hides. The rest of the group hears a noise but dismisses it. Outside, Petra joins Zimet, offering him a seemingly innocent hug and acknowledging the challenges he has faced. Petra then requests the group's trust in allowing her to choose who enters the bunker. The group agrees and Petra proceeds to make her selections, offering justifications for each choice. The wine auctioneer, blessed with a genius IQ and some wine, is among those chosen. With her unconventional choices, Petra leaves Zimet speechless. The fashion designer, selected for dressing well to boost confidence and promote productivity, is seen as a key to rebuilding civilization. The poet, skilled as a champion poker player, brings along his cards. The harpist with autism is chosen, as is the surgeon previously exposed to Ebola. The opera singer, facing potential muteness in 3 years, is chosen for her soothing voice. The chemist, valued for his perfect genes, expresses distress about being the only homosexual without a partner but is accepted. The pastry chef comes out as homosexual and secures a spot. With 2 slots remaining, Petra chooses James, prompting Zimet's objection. Zimet, realizing Petra's defiance, threatens her with a failing grade, but when he reaches for his gun, Petra reveals she swindled it while hugging him earlier. Handing back the gun, Petra adds 2 bullets, sparing Zimet from suffering like last time. James, armed with a rifle, confronts Zimet, having seen him attempt to hide guns with the last card under his sleeve. Zimmet insists he alone knows the exit code, but the soldier, with her perfect memory, recalls it from the previous iteration. Defeated, Zimmet departs. Petra suggests giving the last slot to the soldier, arguing for the quality of everyone's life. The soldier, however, refuses to take the spot, leading to the sterile carpenter securing the final position. In this exercise, James is no longer homosexual, and he pleads with Petra to join them. She declines, opting to take a boat and attempt to escape the radiation zone. The carpenter reveals that he holds the keys to the boat, pushing Petra inside and switching places with her before the door closes. The rest of the group rushes to the boat to escape the island. Petra continues the thought exercise, noting that despite the initially horrific circumstances, they somehow managed to have fun. The presence of cards, good wine, Shakespeare performances, and original poems contributed to their enjoyment. James expresses his love for Petra, but she hesitates to reciprocate with the same phrase. Petra, with the harpist and the opera singer, creates a harp, and their evenings become magical. The bunker becomes a place of enjoyment and creativity. When they finally leave, they discover that the anticipated bombs never fell. Zimmet narrates their impending demise, claiming they lack the technical skills to survive on an island. Petra, however, counters that they will live the rest of their short lives well and welcome death when it arrives, as that's just the way the cookie crumbles. As they prepare for the end, Zimmet shoots, stopping a person from detonating a rocket. This person had found a cave, avoiding the radiation for the past year. Zimmet can't allow an act as unreasonable as ending the human race and threatens to shoot James with his last bullet. The rest of the survivors stand in front of James, determined to protect him. The poet, unfortunately, doesn't have enough to change the situation. In a dramatic turn of events, they decide to press the detonation button, resulting in a resounding boom. Back in the class, Zimmet is left ashamed by the outcome of the latest exercise. In a flashback to the carpenter's thought exercise, it's revealed that he had envisioned a scenario with one man and 6 women, each exclusively his own. Unfortunately, 3 other males had met unfortunate ends. The real estate agent drowned, the housekeeper faced a barracuda attack, and the electrician had an unfortunate encounter with a palm tree. The carpenter justifies his actions by highlighting that being infertile doesn't mean the chance of procreation is zero, emphasizing the importance of enjoying life. The chemist praises the carpenter's creativity. After the session, everyone leaves except Petra. Confronting Zimmet, she accuses him of using the exercise to punish James due to Zimmet's affair with Petra and his belief that James is beneath her. Petra argues that intelligence isn't the sole determinant of worth. She loves James. Offering Zimmet a final kiss, Petra departs. The film concludes with Zimmet left alone in the school, engaging in numerous thought exercises with himself as he contemplates ending it all, haunted by the consequences of his actions. Subscribe for more videos like this and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss out. Leave us a like to help us out and comment your thoughts on the video. Stay awesome!